Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's Mary Jane. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps. Anyways, we are going to be talking about Sandy Wexler. Basically, it's a movie that came out in 2017, and it's a comedy love story, basically, like Romeo and Juliet, basically, but more modern day, basically. So, anyways, I thought the movie was quite interesting. I thought it was funny as well, but it's like a type of movie you watch when you really have nothing else to do, or you want some giggles, you want to laugh here and there. And if you like to reminisce about old school things, or if you don't know anything about the old school, basically, and the 90s, this is a good movie to catch up if you missed the 90s, basically. So basically, it was funny. It was like dry humor, and then there was like nice humor. Very, you could tell that they had some comedians writing some of the scripts and some of the lines. So it was really funny, and it was dry humor as well. But on top of that, they did try to show you love and support, and having a manager, having a talent manager, basically, and how the 90s were for some up and coming artists, basically, or actress or actors, basically, or entertainers, basically. So basically, it's about Sandy Wexler. He's a talent manager working in Los Angeles. He has a lot of clients. He's dedicated to his clients. And basically, he tries his best to make sure they succeed. But he never tells the truth, and he's never honest with anybody. And that really becomes his downfall over the years as being a talent manager, basically. He's not honest a lot. He lies. Like, I don't know if you ever met, I know in my childhood, there were some people that everybody in the neighborhood knew that as soon as you talk to them, they're gonna lie. They'll say, they went to the moon. They'll say they're an astronaut. They'll say that they met Puff Daddy, or they met Whitney Houston, or they met Michael Jackson, or they went to this concert, or they have their own studio. Like, as soon as you meet them, they just lie. And it's not like you ask them to lie. It's in their character. It's part of their DNA. It's also probably a disorder or something like that. But basically, that's what Sandy Wexler is in this movie. But it's funny lying because he doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, number one. Then number two, he doesn't really want to own up when he makes mistakes. He's easy to pass the buck chuck, basically. So anyways, he discovers a lot of different stars, but he discovered one star, which is Courtney, and she's actually played by Jennifer Hudson, and he falls in love with her, and they're like star-crossed lovers. But it takes them years to actually realize their love for each other and actually have a relationship. But the first thing they start off with is a friendship. But during that friendship, Sandy Wexler is not honest with her a lot. He lies. He doesn't tell his true feelings. And basically, Courtney is dedicated to Sandy Wexler. She would do anything that he asked her to do, basically. And she wanted him in her career the whole time. But Sandy realized that he couldn't really help her the way that the help that she really needed, because she did end up blowing up. Basically, there's a lot of different stars. You got Kevin James, you have Colin Quinn, you have Nick Swartzen, you have Gary Rogers, Jackie Slandler, you have Terry Crews, you have Lattimore Morris, you have Aaron Neville, you have Willie Clark, you have Louis Guzman, you have Arsenio Hall, Quincy Jones, Alfredo Yankovic, you have Babyface, you have Mace, you have Rob Ridler, and you have Clay Aikens, you have Betsy Hammer, you have Downtown Julie Brown, you have Salt and Pepper, you have Conan O'Brien, you have Pauly Shore, Albie Shore, Vanilla Eyes, Henry Ringler. You have so many different people that's in this movie. Basically, some of the people are giving confessionals about Sandy Wexler, because basically, he knows everybody and the community, basically, and the acting community in the entertainment business. Some way or another, he finds his way into your heart, into your life, by either trying to represent you, or he probably represented someone that you knew. So he was everywhere, basically. He was always on the payphone. People believed that he wasn't talking to anybody. If you want to reminisce about the beeper, I remember I had a beeper. Everyone used to be like, he used to get fake page or whatever. So you have Chris Rock in the movie as well. You have there's so many different people that were popular back in the 90s and the 80s that are in this film, basically. And so basically, you have Jane Leno, Salt and Pepper, Richard Lewis. It's like so many different people. Some people are playing that character, and some people are giving confessionals about Sandy Wexler, basically. So, there's no payphones. I haven't seen any payphones. So if you wanted to know what a payphone looks like, the pager, basically the big sneakers with the pants covering on top of them. And also, what was popular in the 90s was the Atkins diet. And basically, Sandy Wexler is on the Atkins diet, basically. So he eats meat 24/7. His whole diet is meat. And everybody would talk about how disgusting it was to be around him when he ate, because he chewed with his mouth open. He just ate meat, and it was disgusting, basically. And then, but he does discover a lot of talented people that which move on from him and become really high profile, basically, people. And so it's funny because, you got these people telling stories, and then you have basically examples of Sandy Wexler trying to maneuver his way through Hollywood, basically, Los Angeles. And then he lives in this big ass mansion. This mansion is like the mansions you see stars live in today. But basically, he lives out in the guest house because there's a guy, I think his name is Farul, whatever. He's in Pakistan or he's in Irani, and he owns the house, but he let Sandy Wexler rent, the pool house, basically, or whatever. So Sandy can't get into the pool. He can't go into the guest house, basically. And there's like these big ass dogs. I mean, huge, like they're attack dogs. They're like guard dogs. And basically, anybody that comes and sees Sandy Wexler, the dogs don't bother them, but they always chase Sandy Wexler. They always chase him down. And, he can't come in and out of his house. He's been there for years, but it's like the owner makes sure the dogs attack him, basically, when they see him, basically, but they don't attack anybody else. Basically, the owner watches his every move and then laugh at him about it, make fun of him, and tell jokes as well. So, that's a funny part of the movie as well. Then the other part is when he discover Courtney, which is Jennifer Hudson, and how they meet at some type of like studio. It looks like almost like Disney World, but it's not. And he discovers her. He meets her father. He travels all the way to Canada. And so that's funny as well. So there's a lot of different parts of the movie that's funny. Basically, a part that I really did like is when he discovered Courtney, and he took her to a studio. And the studio that he took her to, basically, it's like an old school studio that you would use back in the 90s, where, like, it's just little, it's real small, basically. It looks like a bathroom, basically. And the guy that's, the production guy that's doing the recording, he keeps forgetting to hit record. So Sandy keeps telling Courtney, oh, can you redo the song, please? And the guy keeps forgetting because he's so stoned and he's so high. So, that was really, really funny. And then also Sandy Wexler, he has a bunch of talent, basically, that assigned to him at this point. And one is a stunt man, basically. And his stunts are very dangerous and very deadly, basically. And he always fucks up. And it's so funny because the audience be like 5 to 4 people. And, it's just outrageous. And Sandy Wexler, he's always clapping, you know what I'm saying, at things that are funny. And, Chris Rock is like, the comedian's actually funny. It's Eddie Murphy. Why are you fake laughing? So, because he would fake laugh, fake clap, even if it was good, because he didn't know how to be himself, and he didn't know how to tell the truth or be honest, basically. He was just being fake. But his fakeness did elevate people's careers. And then he had a ventriloquist guy that had dummies, the dolls talking, and that was really funny as well. And then he had a waitress that was one of his clients, was really funny as well. And when he met with Quincy Jones, Babyface, and Mace, that part was very funny as well. So there's a lot of different funny parts of the movie if you like things like this, basically, like dry humor, good comedy, but subtle good comedy, basically like written out in a skit. And basically it shows about, Blockbusters, when Blockbusters was number one, when they can charge you all types of late fees, and it was like a big business then. And then also, Sandy Wexler meets up with Arsenio Hall at a newsstand, a magazine stand. There's no more newsstands and magazine stands on the corner anymore. Everyone's on the internet. And so basically you see that part of the 90s, and then on top of that they play a lot of good music from the 90s, whether it's hip-hop, R&B, or rock, or soft rock. It's really good hits that they play that really sound good. And the comedy is funny. It gets a little dry a little bit, but basically it's leading on to the story about love and people's ups and downs. And once you face the truth and you can realize the truth, and then you want to change, things can actually be wonderful for you in your life, basically. So there was a lot of good things in the movie, especially Jennifer Hudson singing with Mace. That was a nice song, and it was called Mr. DJ. And it was really nice. And the recording studio was nice. When Sandy finally went to a huge recording studio with Babyface and Mace, and basically he was messing up everything, basically turning off the lights, playing with things while she was singing. It was just hilarious. And then Quincy Jones had a party, and Sandy Wexler insulted Quincy Jones, basically. So it's a nice movie to watch on like a rainy Saturday, a rainy Sunday, or Monday with really nothing much to do. Or it's good to watch it as well if you're dusting and you have a surround sound and surround TV where you can see it, because some of the comedy is visual as well. And he had a wrestler too as well that was signed to him. It was really, really funny, especially when he would book clients. He would make them go through this talent development, basically. And the talent development that he put his clients through had nothing to do with their talent, and it made them much worse. It would be like, and then the people that he would hire, like people that would do photograph, dressing, designing, dancing, questionnaires, like, trying to develop the person as a all the way around artist, were like the most craziest and the most funniest people as well. And they would bring up like fads and things from the 90s that were really popular, basically. So I think it's a good movie to watch, and it's funny and it's humorous. And so if you like it, check it out. It's Sandy Wexler, 2017. It was funny to me, and it ignites a joyful feeling when you watch the movie as well. But it also ignites a sad feeling when you see him get his heart broken, or when he can't step up and say how he really feels or tell the truth about certain things. But then you have so many different people in the movie that are comedians and famous actors that carry the movie as well. So it is a very good watch. But I would say I would rate it as a 5, basically. So anyways, check it out.